Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's and all my favorite people who just so happen to be shits. Today is a good day. We are gathered here today to celebrate the death of an organization and a phrase that we all hate very much because of its hypocrisy and its blatant disregard for every single person who just so happens to share the same skin color as that phrase, who doesn't get the same respect because we have to parade around only a few dead bodies in order to make people care about black people. Black Lives Matter. Now we know for a long time, this organization had the idea to get everyone to understand that in this world of injustice, black people are needed to be respected and equal as individuals in this world. And that was a fine idea. But along the way, a lot of people decided it would be a wise idea to use dead bodies, select dead bodies, to make a lot of money and use that money with promises of caring about the black community, making sure the disenfranchised get respected, making sure that those who are marginalized have opportunities to succeed. And yet, black people rarely, if at all, saw any of it. And over the years, there have been videos, there have even been some documentaries detailing the history and the downfall of this once great organization. But today is a beautiful day because I woke up with my penis very erect and I saw this article that says, BLM support plunges to new low. Majority say it has not helped black people's lives. And I just wanted to take the time to read this beautiful piece of cinema for everyone to enjoy. Support for Black Lives Matter has plunged to its lowest levels, almost completely dividing the nation, with the majority of Americans convinced it's done nothing to improve black people's lives, according to a new poll. The Pew Research Center found that just 51% of Americans even somewhat support the controversial activist group, a sharp decline from the 67% who backed it 3 years ago at the height of the George Floyd protest, because George Floyd is the only man within the past number of years who is black, just so happened to die with police nearby. Of those, only 22% strongly support the scandal-scarred activist group. Worse, only a paltry 8% of the more than 5,000 polled thinks BLM's high-profile work has been highly effective at improving the lives of black people, while a majority, 57%, think it's not helped at all. Even fewer, just 7%, think BLM has been very effective at helping race relations, while 61% think it has not helped. In fact, just under a third, 32%, thought BLM has been notably effective at even bringing attention to racism, with nearly the same 30% believing it's done nothing. Only about a quarter, 26%, think BLM is empowering, while a mere 18% view it as inclusive. Instead, around a third of Americans, 33%, describe BLM as dangerous, with slightly more, 34%, calling it divisive. The Pew Research Center noted that the plunging support comes 10 years after the Black Lives Matter hashtag first appeared online. However, Pew's data only started in 2020, when BLM's influence exploded after Floyd, who was 46, was murdered under the knee of a Minneapolis cop in May of 2020, sparking months of righteous protests across the city. Since then, however, the BLM Global Network Foundation has faced a fierce backlash, with offshoot groups and even families of the people it was supposed to help accusing it of holding back the $90 million it has collected while paying millions to execs and their family and friends. Co-founder and longtime leader Patrisse Cullors stepped down 2 years ago amid those mounting controversies, including her use of donated money to buy multi-million-dollar properties such as a swanky Southern California home used for parties. And I would just like to point out once again, for the people in the back who hear that, see that, read that, and say, what's wrong with a black woman in society buying homes in the year 2023? I would just like to remind all of you, one of those homes, because it was more than one, was used for the purposes of a content creator house to help all those disenfranchised black content creators, black filmmakers, to improve their quality of work and have a space where they can mingle and interact with people who have the same dreams as them. And yet, that was not used for that purpose at all and was used for, of all things, a child's birthday party and a fucking Biden inauguration event, none of which coincide with a content creator's dreams of rising the ranks of anything imaginable. She later trashed the $90 million donated to her group as white guilt money because, of course, you had to parade a bunch of white people around and say, if you don't donate, you're a racist, bigot, white supremacist, and how dare you sit there and not care about these 3 dead black people that we paraded around and made all this money and bought all those mansions that did nothing to really help the overall problems in the black community. It's your fault, and your money is nothing more than white guilt money. Despite the scandals, the Pew poll taken in April suggests that 81% of black Americans at least somewhat support BLM, with around half of those expressing strong support. In sharp contrast, only 17% of white people polled strongly support the group, with just 42% expressing any support at all. Most Americans showing support for the group were younger, with 64% of those under age 29 saying that they at least somewhat support BLM, compared to the 41% age 65 and older. The sharpest division, however, came along the party lines, with just 17% of Republicans showing any support, compared to 84% of Democrats. Of those Dems, 40% strongly supported the group versus just 5% of Republicans expressing similar feelings. Instead, a majority of Republicans, 59%, said BLM was best described as dangerous, with 54% saying it was best described as divisive, and only 11% said that it was empowering. And ladies and gentlemen, I don't care about any of this divisive statistics catered to people who are being polled and asking these questions. What I want to do is look you in your beautiful eyes and let you all know one important thing. All these years, all these issues, all these problems, why is it that we're coming upon the same exact things almost seemingly every other few weeks? Because for some reason, if you're going to go around saying that white people and their white institutions are always going to be the problem, and you beg and you plead and you sometimes demand that those people give you money up until the point of criticism, which then it becomes white guilt money, how are you then going to help the black community, which has been described by damn near anybody who has more money than the most common black person as this poor African-esque style living space in America that nobody cares about? And yet you, 3 black women, the people who are the head honchos, take that money, give it to all your family members and their businesses, and leave the rest of the black community out for scraps. I don't think that makes any sense, along with the tried and true thing that I always bring up that a lot of people who claim to be black activists don't want to hear because apparently it's a conservative talking point. What about the black people who look just like me killing people who also look just like me? I'm sorry, but when I hear Black Lives Matter, I'm thinking every black life taken unjustly. That means no matter the race, the sexuality, the gender, or how you feel like you're a beaver on the inside, doesn't matter. You take a life unjustly, there should be protest, there should be justice, there should be marching in the streets. But for some reason, we're only fixated on the white women, the white males, the white cops, the white kids who do these things as if they hold more importance in the world, and we're gonna pick which Black Lives Matter because apparently if you're someone who said anything wrong about a black man or a black woman on Twitter of all places, your life means nothing and you can rest in piss. I'm sorry, but this community of people that's supposed to hang together ain't really together, and I'm tired of people bringing up the black community as in everybody when all they meet is their family and friends. This organization has done nothing, and I'm happy that there's all this division. I'm happy people are realizing this organization has really done nothing at all. So when they creep back up again and try to say, hey everybody, we want to help the black people, don't give them no money. Don't feed into nothing. They have $90 million that magically just disappeared out of thin air. You have an owner who's afraid of taxes because they're triggering to her. I want them find that money and and do whatever they need to help some areas in the black community. And until they do that, we can even make a deal. Until they do that, I don't want to hear nobody saying they donated to BLM. And for you people that just only care about the words, because obviously the organization doesn't really mean anything as compared to the words, where are you when these people who share your skin color are also in these areas taking black lives? Where are you? I honestly want to know. I'm curious. I'm pondering, because you know where to be found. And you, just like the organization, just like this mainstream media, only show up when it's a white person. So for me, as someone who often gets criticized for jumping for the white man, it's very fucking hilarious to me how you only jump when a white man is around. We not done. Because you have these people who fixate around BLM and they do the dumbest things and represent BLM doing those dumb things. Speaking of dumb things, why would you, as a grown woman in Canada, think it's a good idea as a BLM president to commit hate crimes upon Catholic schools? The president of Black Lives Matter chapter in Canada has been charged with a hate crime over an alleged incident that occurred at a Catholic school in Calgary, Alberta. Adora, I'm not even going to attempt that last name, has been charged with criminal mischief for allegedly willfully obstructing and interfering with the use of a property primarily used for religious worship and educational purposes. That last name I can't even attempt to pronounce, who is the president of the Black Lives Matter YYC, is accused of interfering with people trying to gain access to St. Thomas Aquinas School on May 26 for reasons pertaining to bias, prejudice, or hate based on race or an ethnic group. That last name, again, I will not pronounce, was formally charged on June 2nd and has been banned from being within 100 meters of the school. She has since been released on a no-cash bail and has been ordered by a judge not to speak with people at the St. Thomas Aquinas School as a condition of release. She is set to appear before a judge in court on Friday. Calgary Herald report that members associated with this Black Lives Matter chapter in particular have a history of legal battles due to criminal actions. Defense lawyer Chad Haggerty, who is representing that last name I will not pronounce, is also representing Black Lives Matter activist Taylor McNally in a case in which McNally allegedly assaulted an off-duty sheriff on the steps of Calgary Court Center during protests in 2021. So we have a collection of people who represent organizations all across the world who are stupid. And for some reason, people still look at these organizations and say, we must support them. We must make sure that they have every resource available so that they all know that we care. We love them. We respect them. Meanwhile, they doing the dumbest shit possible to embarrass themselves and any movement they care about, which further puts stock into my theory in life that hating activists is the clear way to go, because activists do nothing to help whatever movement they care about. Why are you going around bothering children at a Catholic school? Why are you assaulting off-duty officers thinking anyone's gonna see you and care about Black lives? Newsflash, they're not. They're gonna look at you as the individual and say, you are a dumb human being. And guess what? Even the weird people are gonna say, oh, you represent BLM? Ah, see those BLM activists, they're at it again. They are the worst type of people and they deserve no support because look at what they're doing. So congratulations, you're a fool. At the end of the day, I am very happy that this organization has embarrassed itself. You can blame the right wingers, you can blame the red pillars, you can blame the conservatives all you want. The actions of an organization that clearly does not care about the entirety of Black people in America has constantly shown they don't care. So now it's all up to the Black people. You have been complaining about government officials using you, hurting you, taking advantage of you. Now you have a Black-led organization. You have been led astray by an organization ran by Black women you should feel some type of way about this. You should not want to support this because they continuously use and abuse you and prey on your emotions and dangle select black bodies in front of your face. So now it's on you. When this organization creeps back up again, when they want to let you know that it's time for Black Lives to Matter now, make sure you have the history of the dumb shit they've done and you say, I'm not supporting that. What you should do is support me, the real Black Lives Matter organization. BLM, bring Leon money, because at a funeral, it's important to give your money to those who actually need it. And you know, I'm an actual organization. I do things for the world. What do? I spread the knowledge of common sense on YouTube for all to see, because stupid people exist. Organizations full of stupid people exist, and it is up to I, the sexiest black YouTuber, to drag them out in front of everyone and for all of us to point, laugh, and to shame. I am glad we all came to this funeral service today. It has been wonderful pissing on the grave of Black Lives Matter. I hope zombies don't exist, because if this thing comes back, I'm gonna piss it back down into hell.